Oh, man.
Welcome to The Know, I'm Brian. If you've been wanting to know more about what Nintendo Labo is, besides just $70 cardboard, Nintendo's released a bunch of demo footage, and it showcases some of what the new product can do. And it's actually pretty impressive. Some of the more interesting tidbits include the RC car using HD rumble effects to move it across the floor, which really is impressive. Oh, and it can self-navigate by recognizing objects with the IR cameras on the Joy-Cons. You can create track terrain in the motorbike game by scanning real-world objects with the IR cameras or drawing it with the Joy-Cons. Man, there's some creative motherfuckers at Nintendo. And you can even use punch cards and cut out waveforms to generate your own music and sounds with the piano game. So yeah, judging by some of these early demos, it looks like the sky's the limit when it comes to Nintendo's ability to cook up like interesting, fun experiences. They should let you make a cardboard pizza. That would still be better than what I ate in college. Loot boxes, they're back in the news again after new regulations from loot boxes were introduced in Hawaii earlier this week. A New Hampshire senator is now joining the call to fight them as well. U.S. Senator Maggie Hassan sent a letter to the ESRB calling on the ratings board to rethink video game ratings when loot boxes are present. Hassan wrote, "I respectfully urge the ESRB to review the completeness of the board's ratings process and policies as they relate to loot boxes and to take into account the potential harm these types of microtransactions may have on children." Sounds like somebody didn't get the skin she wanted in Overwatch, I'm just saying. She also asked the ESRB to study the effects of loot boxes on gamers. In addition to sending the letter, Hassan also posed the idea in a Senate hearing of getting the Federal Trade Commission involved independently if the ESRB doesn't act. So yeah, might be seeing the government getting involved. For its part, the ESRB did the thing you'd expect for an organization to do that acts in the interest of the games industry. It thanked her for her comment and gave her a non-committal answer. So yeah, there we go. PlayerUnknown and PUBG Corp have been relatively quiet about what's next for the hit game following the 1.0 release for the game on PC, but it seems like more news could be coming soon. Community manager Sammy Kang wrote on Twitter yesterday, "Our dev team has been working on a dev roadmap for early 2018 in the past few weeks. It's about time we update you on what's happening and where things are at. We will share this roadmap with you soon once we finalized all the details. Still no telling what we should expect in terms of new features, but we do know they're working on another map at the moment, and who knows, maybe a new type of dinner." God of War is out in April, and now that the game is getting closer, director Cory Barlog is being a bit more forthcoming about some of the details. In a new interview with the official PlayStation magazine, Barlog talked about the game's combat, and surprisingly, he compared it to FIFA? Wait, so does this mean bad guys are gonna flop on the ground screaming if Kratos gently brushes up against them? Barlog elaborated on that comparison by saying, "It's the same game every time you play, but it's extremely sort of non-deterministic. Every game is different despite every game being the same. There's this drama that exists in every single match, even when you're playing the same teams. There's a magic to video games encapsulated in the idea that I don't want to ever lose, even if I'm trying to make something, trying to tell a story." Dude, no more drugs for that, man. All right, dude, we get it. You're smart. Barlog also talked about how other characters will make appearances and influence Kratos' gameplay, upgrading weapons, and about why they came to the decision not to give players total freedom in an open world setting. God of War, it's coming out soon, releases on April 20th. Monster Hunter World is one of the hottest games on the planet right now, and it's still only out on Xbox One and PS4. PC version, it's set to come out later this year, but that Switch port that people keep asking about and Capcom's already strongly indicated won't be coming, yeah, it's probably not happening. Capcom reiterated this week that it would be extremely hard for them to get Monster Hunter World ported to Nintendo's device. A Japanese publication asked Capcom president Haruhiro Sugimoto about a potential Switch version, to which he replied that it would be difficult. He added, "The Switch has different functions from other stationary consoles, as well as different players." Which is too bad because Monster Hunter World rules. I was having trouble the other day with the monster. I shot up a flare. 3 Japanese players immediately showed up and kicked the shit out of it. It was like a summons from Final Fantasy. It ruled. The reviews are coming in for the Bayonetta 1 and 2 collection on Switch so far, looking really, really good. The collection currently has a 90 on Metacritic. That's a very respectable score. If you've never played Bayonetta, you're basically a gun-wielding witch fighting demons in fetish wear. And sometimes you get naked while your hair turns into a dragon and eats people. It's rated E for everyone. You might remember that same collection was on the Wii U, but considering that like 5 people actually owned a Wii U, including me, Nintendo decided to bring it to the Switch and a larger audience, similar to what they did with Mario Kart 8 and Pokken Tournament. We got this covered, gave it a 4.5 out of 5, and wrote Bayonetta 1 and 2 are spectacular entries in the hack and slash genre, and playing them on the go is a surreal experience that vastly diversifies the Switch's library. GameSpew, that is an awesome name. GameSpew also liked it, giving it an 8 out of 10, but they noted that the resolution is stuck at 720p, even in docked mode, which can lead to some poor image quality on bigger TVs. Its reviewer wrote, "It's undeniably disappointing that they're less attractive in docked mode, but nevertheless, they're still wildly enjoyable and engaging, just not as sharp as you'd probably expect." If you're interested, the collection releases tomorrow for the Switch. I have it on the Wii U. I'm probably gonna buy it for the Switch too. It's on the Switch, I gotta get it. The medieval RPG Kingdom Come Deliverance released just a few days ago. It's already selling really well. That's according to one of its development team, creative director Daniel Vavra, who said in an interview on Czech TV that the game will soon reach 500,000 copies sold. Reviews, they were a little mixed on the game. Some people praised the first-person medieval combat. Others pointed out it's got some bugs and frame rate issues, but gamers don't seem to mind. It's currently the top-selling game on Steam, beating out the Secret of Mana HD release and Rocket League. And it's already hit a peak of more than 75,000 concurrent players, so hey, good for them. Stardew Valley players have been anxiously awaiting the 1.3 update. Yeah, me too. That's when we're gonna get a lot of new content as well as multiplayer mode. And creator Eric Barone, aka Concerned Ape, says in a development blog recently that the beta version should release sometime this spring. He wrote, "Work on the new features is done and we've sent all the new text off to be translated into the different languages. Meanwhile, we are working on bug fixes. Once we've received the translated text and integrated it back into the game, we'll begin a serious QA phase involving thorough testing of all new features in both multiplayer and single player contexts. When that's finished, the update should be ready for a public beta. I'm still shooting for a spring release for the beta." So pretty soon. He also posted some screenshots of new signs that'll let you label all your chests and your buildings. I'm not gonna label all my sheds because I just look like a bootlegger with all the wine I'm making. My farm is basically like a winery with pigs everywhere and children who I ignore. I'm like, go to sleep, honey. Daddy needs to put some more kegs in your room. Shh. We got a full teaser to the much anticipated Incredibles sequel during the Olympics yesterday. Finally revealed a little bit more about the movie's plot. It seems like Mr. Incredible is going to be kind of more like Mr. Mom this time around, and Elastigirl is called into action to help regain the public's trust in supers once again. That means instead of killer robots, Mr. Incredible, he's gonna be doing math homework and changing diapers. Yeah, you don't need superpowers to do that, you just need to be a good dude. Turning Superman into a stay-at-home dad's pretty rich material for returning writer-director Brad Bird to tackle. Plus, Frozone is back, double win. We know that Netflix has all the money in the world. We know that. Now mega producer Ryan Murphy knows it too. The streaming giant just lured the producer who is behind hit shows like Glee and American Horror Stories. Netflix lured him away from Fox with a 5-year deal worth $300 million. Holy shit. That doesn't mean though that American Crime Story or his new shows 911 or Pose will be going away from FX, but it does mean that anything new from him for the next 5 years will be exclusive to Netflix. He was already working with Netflix. They were doing a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest spin-off show focused on Nurse Ratched, but now that Netflix money truck's been backed up to his front door, so expect a few dozen new series to be available for your binge watching pleasure in the near future. This is all edited, but just know I fucked up that brief a million times. Is Bitcoin preventing us from discovering aliens? That's what researchers on one major project claim. They say they can't get a hold of the latest graphics card because those cryptocurrency miners are snatching them up. The SETI at Home project, which is being done by the University of California, Berkeley, it uses volunteers and their home computers to help analyze radio signals from outer space. But Chief Scientist Dan Wertheimer told the BBC that it's getting harder and harder to find good GPUs. He said, "This is a new problem. It's only happened on orders we've been trying to make in the last couple months. We got the money, we've contacted the vendors, and they say we just don't have them," which is a bummer. But you know what? If the price of Bitcoin keeps falling, this problem might resolve itself. It'd be funny if the radio signals from the aliens were like, "You should sell now. You're not really a billionaire. It's not your money until you sell. Go ahead and do it. Then we'll anal probe you after." All right, that's all the news we got for today. Let us know what you think about each and every one of these news items in the comments below. And for all your news from every corner of the internet, like this video, subscribe to the Node. Do it right now. We love you. He was already working with Netflix on a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest spinoff show spinoff show. That was going to be focused. I can't talk. Spinoff show. That was going to be focused. I can't talk. Why am I doing this on camera then, you might ask? No one knows.